Welcome to the 6th week of Italian cuisine in the world. My name is Viola Buitoni, and in collaboration with the Italian Culture Institute in San Francisco, we will be presenting a series of videos to explore Italy by pasta. Pasta is the Italian ingredient par excellence. We all love it, we all want to cook it every day or more. So follow us during these 5 short videos to learn how to incorporate 5 modern classics in your everyday cooking. Welcome to my kitchen, and I will see you on the other side. For today's recipe, we are using gemelli, and we will be dressing them with some winter squash, taleggio, one of Italy's most beloved cheeses, and a little bit of crinkly sage. Follow me to make gemelli con zucca e taleggio alla salvia croccante. To make this dish, you should choose a squash or a pumpkin that is kind of dense and starchy and pretty fleshy. Ideally one that you can eat the peel off. Why is that? Because actually peeling a squash is really kind of a pain, so it's better if you don't have to peel it. I'm using honey nut today, which is not only the right sweetness and denseness, but also the right size. It's pretty small, and I'm left with 1/2 of it that I can use in the next couple of days. I have cut my honey nut in small dice. These are about between 1/4 and 1/2 inch. And obviously, the smaller you make them, the faster they cook. So if you are pressed for time, make sure you go 1/4 inch. If you're less pressed for time, you can go a full 1/2 inch. Ruler, very important thing to have in the kitchen. All right, we have about 1/2 cup of taleggio here, maybe 2/3 of a cup, which I have peeled and diced. And there's some very, very finely chopped shallot here. You could use onion if you want. Shallot is a little sweeter and I like it better. After you've gotten all ingredients ready, the next thing you want to do is you want to put a stick of butter with about 10 to 15 sage leaves. And you want to put it over very, very, very low heat. As you can see here, it's already melting and separating, but it's not hazelnut yet. So I kind of want to get to the hazelnut color here. So what you do for this is you put it on a very low heat and just let it go. Essentially, it's like making a confit. You keep the heat very, very low, and the salt and the sage keeps cooking and it becomes crinkly. It's almost as if it's fried, but it's really not deep fried. It's more like confit. In fact, if I go to break it, it makes almost like a little crunchy sound coming apart. Once your butter and sage are going, you also want to start putting your water up, of course. The sauce will not take very long because we've made the squash dice pretty small. So I put up 3 quarts of water with about a heaping tablespoon of salt. I have a skillet ready, and I'm going to coat the bottom of the skillet with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. I am standing here and I can actually smell the olive oil, which means I'm ready to go in with the shallot. Please note that I actually I have minced my shallot with a nice pinch of salt. The salt has taken away the moisture, just drawn the moisture and broken the fibers down so that I have almost like a shallot paste. The shallot is ready, and I love overhearing the noise of my butter bubbling and making that sage crinkly. While that is happening, I am going to put in the diced squash. Right after I put it in, I want to kind of saute it and coat it in yummy flavor. So the first thing I want to do is bring up the heat to high, give it a nice shock of heat, and start caramelizing the outside. Once the squash has begun to change colors, it's going to turn just a little bit more rusty and less bright orange. It also looks very shiny and glistening from the oil. I'm going to take 1/2 cup of a dry white wine. I'm going all the way back up to high heat. Here's my wine, here's the high heat. I should actually at this point hear the noise of the flame, hear the noise, the hissing and crinkling of the sauteing, and that's when I'm ready to go in with the wine. Ready? It's going to make a lot of noise. Here I go. This is good noise, it's the right noise. This is how you know that your wine is doing what it's supposed to do. So I'm going to stand here, and what I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for the wine to change my mind, to seduce me completely, bring me where I need to be. The way that the wine is going to do that is it's going to develop more sugar and kind of like turn the alcohol down into sugar. So as I'm standing here, it will disengage my eyes, they will not tear anymore. My nose won't crinkle. It's not that I won't smell the wine, but instead of going like this, I'll probably go like, that is going to take a couple of minutes. Give it time. You don't want to trap that acrid flavor into your sauce. It's not going to come out unless you let it come out now. So give it its time. All right, you should have a little pointy knife with you because we want to see how the squash is coming along. And it should be cooking pretty quickly. I'm already able to go through fairly easily, so it's probably a couple of minutes away. Our water is boiling. I'm going to put the pasta in, of course. We're using Gemelli today. It looks a little bit like a DNA strand. Love Gemelli, it means twins, literally. So put them in, let's give them a little stir, and cover them to bring the water back up to a boil. Your sauce is ready, so is your pasta. Using a hand-dealt strainer, transfer your pasta in with the squash. The heat is high under the squash. Quickly swirl it and saute it. We're going to add a little bit of the pasta cooking water to finish it because we left it about 2 minutes behind. We want to add a little bit of pepper. We can now put the dice of taleggio all over, turn the heat off, and cover the pasta. Our taleggio is so beautifully melted. Look at this. We're going to toss the pasta so that the taleggio is evenly distributed throughout it. We are now ready to plate it. Let's make sure that there is a good amount of orange on top. Last but not least is our clinker sage. We're just going to put it all over. Today's dish for our Italy by Pasta exploration is gemelli with winter squash, taleggio and crinkly sage. I thank you, the Italian Cultural Institute in San Francisco and its director, Anna Maria Di Giorgio, for allowing me to share with you all these Italian modern everyday classics to bring into your kitchen for everyday cooking.